Edgar Berlanga versus Jason Quigley. 10 rounds in the super middleweight division. Let's get into it. Let's start with Edgar Berlanga. 20 wins, no losses, 16 wins by way of knockout. This is a pivotal point in Berlanga's career, and it does start this weekend against Quigley. For 16 fights, Berlanga was knocking cats out in the first round. It seemed like as quickly as the fight would start that he would get them out of there shortly after that. And I like seeing that. Like, we all like seeing knockouts. Mike Tyson, one of my favorite fighters of all time. I've been watching Berlanga since his fifth fight when he fought Sadiq Muhammad. Once he got to 10 fights, I was like, okay, man, yeah, he's knocking cats out, but he needs more rounds. He needs more in the development stage of his career. After a certain point, you get to a point where you know someone can crack, you know that they got pop in their shots, but can they do other things? Can they box? Can they slip and move? Can he adjust his feet under pressure, right? Can he not overcommit to a shot when he feels like he's losing a fight and get himself in trouble? What's his counter game like? What's the adjustment game like when the initial plan isn't working? Can he stay patient? Like, what's his heart piece like when he needs to pull out that side of him? We needed to see those things, and we can't really tell when you knocking cast out. We slowly got to see other parts of Edgar Berlanga. Right, when he fought Damon Nicholson, he scored 4 knockdowns in that fight, but he didn't get the knockout, right? And I was cool with that fight. People were saying, man, he should have been able to stop him. I was cool with him not getting the knockout. I got to see the rounds, and he dominated the fight nonetheless. After that, he fought Marcelos Coceres, and again, Berlanga fought a good fight, right? But now he was fighting guys who were just as big and durable and not going to be able to just dice them up on the plate. He was going to have to set up his shots a little better. He was going to have to use his boxing IQ to be in the right position to get the job done. Coceres made it frustrating for him, man. Berlanga was lunging a few rounds trying to force the knockout, and there were moments when he paid for it. Moments where he left himself open against Coceres, and Coceres made him pay. He countered him well, and then Berlanga would miss as well. And the 6th round got clipped and almost got dropped by Coceres a few rounds later. Berlanga overcommitted, right? And Coceres countered him with the overhand right, and it was the same shot he used a few rounds earlier, except this time it landed and dropped Berlanga. Coceres almost closed out the show, right? Berlanga ultimately went on to get the job done, and he did beat up his opponent pretty badly, but now we're starting to see some of those holes in Berlanga's armor. Then he goes on to fight Steve Rolls, and even though he won that fight, the one thing we wanted to see him do in the ring that night, right, was cut off the ring. He was having a hard time doing that. Maybe if Steve Rolls would have let his hands go a little bit more, he would have been able to capitalize on the missed opportunities that fight. After that, Berlanga moves up and he fights Romar Angulo, a good boxer and a good test for Berlanga. Someone who can crack, someone who has good skill behind him. And it was a good fight. A fight that I could see Berlanga was trying to box a little bit more, trying to slow things down, right? Trying to be patient and to set up his shots and not just lunge in and depend on his power and athleticism. Angulo was an inside fighter. He was trying to close the gap, trying to make it a scrappy, grueling, brawling fight. And Berlanga, I thought, did a good job not engaging too much in that fight. Angulo looked like the bigger, stronger man in that fight to me. And every time he threw a shot, it looked like it hurt. He caught Berlanga with a few uppercuts that rocked Berlanga's head back. But it was a fight that I could see Berlanga, man, was working on things, working on his development, working on the things that him and his team were practicing in their camp. His speed and footwork were assets to him in that fight that night. If he would have fought his regular aggressive style, that might have gotten him knocked out that fight. Right. So him and his team came in with the right game plan and they got the win. They got the job done. A lot of people still had mixed reviews of that fight, but I thought it was a good fight for Berlanga because I could see that he was working on things that he was not working on in different parts of his fight. He was starting to see, yo, I have to be strategic. I have to be more tactical. I can't just use one approach and think that I can beat these guys at the top level. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he looks like coming into this fight. I like Berlanga. I'm rooting for him to do well, right? But if he wants to get into the ring with these top guys and he keeps calling them out, he's going to need more rounds. He's going to have to improve on his boxing IQ and continue to develop. And most importantly, he's going to have to continue to improve on his defense under pressure. But let's talk about his opponent, Jason Quigley. 20 wins, 2 losses, 14 wins by way of knockout. He fought once this year already in April, where he got the decision victory over a guy who he should have been able to stop, in my opinion. But that was his first fight back after a devastating loss to Demetrius Andrade. And you always want to get a nice win back after a loss. Now, Quigley's got good size. He's got good reach. He doesn't have that size advantage. He doesn't have that speed advantage, nor does he have that type of athleticism that Berlanga has. But that doesn't mean he can't use his skills and what he's good at to his advantage to win this fight. I think Quigley's best bet in this fight, man, is to slow the fight down, right? And fight from an outside, fight from a distance, try to limit that close range fight, continue slipping, continue moving, and make sure that you are incredibly locked in and dialed in and wary of that right hand. Well, the issue when Quigley was fighting Demetrius Andrade, man, was Andrade was way too athletic for Jason Quigley, right? Andrade didn't throw a lot, but Quigley was biting on the things that Andrade was doing, and he was never prepared for the explosiveness of a guy like a Demetrius Andrade. And he got caught with the same shot that dropped him in the first round, and he got dropped with the second shot that closed out the show in the second round. It was the same shot. Quigley didn't make any adjustments. He just kind of got lulled to sleep following what Andrade was doing and reacting to what Andrade was doing instead of fighting his fight, right? Andrade is tricky. I'm not saying Berlanga isn't, but it's going to be a different look. I think Andrade is more athletic than Berlanga, right? I think Andrade's movements is faster than Berlanga, but Berlanga has more power, right? So this isn't a fight where Quigley can have a lapse in moment. He has to use that anticipation to do his best to try and stay one step ahead of where Berlanga is going to be. When he fought Shane Mosley Jr., man, I thought Jason Quigley fought well. He was confident, controlled, sharp, poised, and he fought his fight. He used his jab to set up his shots. He doesn't have that slick athleticism in his movement, but if he can stick to his jab and stay locked in mentally with no lapses, man, I think he can have a lot of success in this one. He fought very well against Shane Mosley Jr. He didn't get sucked into fighting Mosley's fight, but as the fight went on, man, you could see Quigley was starting to slow down, and Shane Mosley Jr. was starting to really find his groove and his confidence. So the speed is going to be a factor because Quigley isn't as fast. So we'll see what the game plan is for his team going into this fight. So who wins? I think this fight is going to play out like when Andrade fought Jason Quigley, except I don't think it's going to be as early of a finish. Berlanga's speed, power, and athleticism are going to give Quigley problems if he doesn't try to force the fight, doesn't try to force the knockout. If he forces the fight, he might find himself getting countered and making this fight a lot harder than it needs to be. But I like Edgar Berlanga to win this fight by knockout, some type of KO stoppage. What are your thoughts on this fight? Who do you have winning this one? Let me know in the comment section below. If you would like to support the channel, there's a couple ways you can do so. You can like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you would like to support by way of donation, you can find options in the description below. Also, my Cash App handle will be on screen as well. Any amount goes towards growth of this channel and will be greatly, greatly appreciated. Recently just started membership on the channel. Don't always get to do all of the suggested videos you guys suggest in the comment section below, but if you become a member, those suggested videos rise to the top, and I will do my best to get those done for you that week. Or if you would like to become a member just to support the channel, that would be greatly, greatly greatly appreciated as well. Shout out to everybody that continues to like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. Shout out to everybody that has donated to the channel. Shout out to everybody that continues to show your support for the channel in different ways. I appreciate you. It's truly, truly appreciated. So with all that being said, if you've been watching the video this long, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel, and we'll definitely see you next time.